That's big in the news that I think a lot of business owners can learn from is the merger between UFC and WWE, or the World Wrestling Entertainment Company. Now, this is a big deal because combining, they're going to be about a $21 billion company. Now, a lot of people may be thinking like, well, what's the big deal? I'm not really a fan. I don't watch either, but there are millions of people who are fans of this. I mean, in fact, even if you just look at WWE, like when they can pull together a crowd at a live event like this, that tells you there are a lot of people paying attention to this. Now, there are two lessons that I want to talk about that every business owner can learn from this. Now, growing up, I wasn't really as much of a fan of UFC. I was more of a fan of the of wrestling, whether it was WCW or the WWF, and now it's combined into the WWE. But one of the things that I do remember about them now that I'm older and thinking back is that the wrestling, they were really, really good at understanding their audience. I mean, it's almost like they knew what their audience wanted before their audience even realized it themselves. And part of that is because they were obsessed with studying their audience, studying the things that their audience liked, and studying their behavior, studying things they were interested in. And what they started to do is they started to craft storylines or events that gave people what they wanted. Now, as a business, that is something that we all have to figure out how to do, is how to understand our audience so much that we know how to talk about our services or our products in a way that actually matters to them. Now, I want to talk you through a couple of tips on how to do that. Now, one of the obvious ones that you can do, and this has probably made it so much easier, is if you're talking to a person that's a potential client, if they're on LinkedIn, you can go to LinkedIn and you can click on show all content when you click on their profile, and you can see what are the last things that they either liked or that they commented on, like what are the last things that they posted. Because what this will do is it will help you understand what are they thinking, where is their head at, and what are they paying attention to. Now, another thing that you can do is you can use Google Trends. Let's say if you're trying to do a local strategy, you want to understand, hey, what's going on in that area? Well, you can go to the Google Trends and you can actually pull up like, hey, what are the top things? Like if I'm looking at, a specific country, what are the top things that people are focused on in that country? Like what were the top things people were searching for in Google? Like what was happening? What was going on? And also, you can drill down even more to explore more topics. You can look at it from a real-time perspective to see, hey, what's happening right now? What are people searching for? These two tools will definitely help you. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about with wrestling is that Vince McMahon did a really, really good job when it came down to wrestling of not making himself the star. He made it about the characters, or he made it about, the different wrestlers so that people could see themselves in the story. Now, as a kid, as I said, really loved wrestling as a kid, and my brothers as well, because when I was a kid, my brothers really loved Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan. Now, myself, I was the youngest of four boys, so I always liked the shorter guys, the smaller guys. So I was a Shawn Michaels fan. Now, I was a Shawn Michaels fan before he was like the big star, probably when he was back with the Rockers, when he was with Marty Jannetty, when he looked like this. That's when I was a Shawn Michaels fan. Now, eventually, he became the superstar that a lot more people know. But when I think about that, was what Vince McMahon was doing is not making himself the star, not making it about him, but more so making it about the character so people could see themselves. I mean, to the point that he came up with some pretty interesting characters like Macho Man or Dusty Rhodes or Ric Flair or Booker T. Washington or Booker T. Or even Rowdy Piper. Because one of the things that he realized is if I make it about me, people will not connect. So when it comes down to your business, when it comes down to your services, or it comes down to the different things that you're doing, how you're doing your marketing or how you're creating content, one of the questions you have to ask yourself is, are you making it about you? Is it about how hard you're working? Is it about, all you wanting to grow your business? Because what I will tell you is if your clients feel like you're just using them to make more money, they will not continue to do business with you. So one of the things that you have to figure out and master is how do you make your products, your services, your content, your marketing, and even the way you deliver your service, how do you make it so that your client is the star of the transaction and it is not about you serving your own best interests?